Hi everyone, it's Leslie coming to you live from beautiful sunny Barcelona, and I'm just going to wait a few minutes until people start to come on. And for those of you that may or may not know me, or for as long as you've known me, I am originally from Los Angeles and moved here to Barcelona after 10 amazing years in London. And really that move in London was very much inspired by my own personal journey. It was back in 2015 when I was going back and forth from London to Los Angeles to be present with my father, who was put on hospice care. And I remember vividly, it was one of the trips that I was coming back from, because I was flying back and forth for 8 months every month. It was winter in London, and my husband gets what I call these winter blues, where he always speaks about wanting to move somewhere warmer, wanting to move somewhere else besides London. And it was during this time when I was going back and forth from London to Los Angeles and seeing my father that I full-heartedly started to really want to live from a place of no regrets, and to really live a life out of fear and completely in love, which is why we are here today. I'm here with my family in Barcelona, and hi Joanna, and which is why I'm here broadcasting live from Barcelona. And also just to speak a little bit about my inspiration for coming to you live on Facebook is last week, another dear family friend passed away, who was also put on hospice care. And it was a dear family friend that wasn't doing very well, and but even still, you know, when someone very close and dear to you transitions, it affects you, and it still hurts, and it's quite painful, which brings me to the inspiration for doing this Facebook Live today, because she is a dear family friend that looked after both my children and my home when I was in London. And I took various and numerous trainings and workshops and retreats, and if it wasn't for her, I know full-heartedly that I wouldn't be able to be doing what I am today, to be able to serve other people within this capacity and to help make the world a better place. So basically I'm paying it forward, and for the next 4 weeks I will be pulling back the curtain on my wellness tips and life hacks and any questions that you may have, as I feel like I've been blessed, and it's been an honor to have worked with some of the top healers and teachers and coaches in this world, and it would be an honor to share that and pay it forward and to guide you or someone you know on your journey as well. So what I'm going to talk about today is basically how to stay calm and to carry on. This is something that is really a big passion of mine, to help others to find space, to find peace, and to infuse balance in a life that they love. I know as a mother of two, as an expat, juggling the demands of family and work and traveling around the world, as well as working. You know, before I was a career woman in LA, became a stay-at-home mom, and back an entrepreneur, so juggling the demands of family and work. It can get quite stressful. So it's really my passion to help others through my own personal experience and my commitment to growth, as well as all that I've seen in working with these top people in the world, as well as seeing with my clients and my students, that I'd like to share that with you for the next 4 weeks. So really, you know, whether you're a parent, whether you're a mother, whether you are an expat or You live where you grew up, you travel or you don't travel. The truth is that we all experience stress. We all have chemical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, physical stress. Basically, modern day society doesn't run out of ways to stress us out. And what I've learned from my own personal experience and working with clients and training with these top teachers and healers and coaches in the world is the one thing that is so fundamentally important before any work that you do, before any mindful practices that you start doing, is to really come from a place and awareness and an acceptance that at the end of the day, you really don't have control over anything that happens outside of you. You really don't have control over what other people do and how other people behave. And the only thing that we do have control over is what happens here, what happens inside of us, how we behave, how we react, and the meaning that we give to our experiences. And so, because we all have this stress every day, it's really about how can we retrain the brain so that we can start to drop these stress, this fear, and this anxiety, so that we can start to shift out of that it's actually a low-level reactive state when we start to become stressed, anxious, and fear. How can we shift out of that so that we can become more present, that we can start to come from a place of greater awareness, that we can start to look and shift our perspective so that we can really start to experience life in a more meaningful and a more full way. Because when we stay in this state of stress and anxiety and fear, this really puts us in this reactive mode. This turns on our sympathetic nervous system, which we call our flight or flight mode, where this reactive state is really meant to just be just a few minutes. But when we start to really give so much meaning to these low-level stress, and when it becomes such a big problem for us, that's when it starts to really have an effect on our health and our well-being. And 21st century society really doesn't give us the space or the support so that we can start to escape all this stress and this anxiety. And really it starts to come from ancient wisdom practices. So deep conscious breathing, meditation, mindfulness practices, yoga, tai chi. These are all practices that we can start to shift and become more present and to become more mindful and to drop that anxiety, that stress, and that fear. Hi, Rebecca. And if we don't have these practices of mindfulness, if we don't have the awareness to be more present when we're going about our day, we have a tendency to use numbing devices or coping strategies. So anything from cigarettes to alcohol to television to internet, social media to shopping. I mean, all these things that we do or we use that when we're stressed, we think that they're helping. And quite frankly, they might for a few minutes, maybe for a day. But really all it is just self-medicating, and it's really just what I like to call sugar-coating, and it's not really addressing the deep issue, but it's just addressing the symptom, which is the stress, the anxiety, and the fear. And so one of the things that I use myself, as well as I encourage my clients to use as well, is a very simple acronym. Hi, Christina. Is to use a very simple acronym called STOP. So S-T-O-P. So if you find yourself being stressed or fearful or anxious, just think of the simple acronym STOP. So S for slow down, T, take a deep breath, O, observe before you proceed. So again, the acronym STOP, slow down, take a deep breath, observe before you proceed. And so I just encourage you to just try this. Just try this for a week. If at any point you feel, and it's really important that you really start to become aware of how your body feels when you react to stressful or very fear or anxious experiences or people or your environment. When you start to recognize that, feel what's happening in your body, so you know what's starting to trigger that response, and you know to use that simple acronym. And so I just invite you to try this for a week and see if anything. Hi Sally, hi Brooke. See if anything changes for you. See if you notice any subtle shift in energy, hi Auntie Marilyn, any subtle changes in again, in your energy, maybe how you start to behave with certain people that used to trigger a certain stressful response, or maybe even start to notice if people start to act differently around you because they're curious and they wanting to know, why are they not so reactive, or why are they so quiet? But really that's just a moment and a space for you to become more present, to be more grounded, and to be able to give yourself that space and time. Hi Lily. So that you can come back to the more peaceful and restful state and not react from a very stressful, anxious environment or something that someone is doing. And so just going back to the numbing devices, and if any of you guys have any questions, or I see some of you online, just go ahead and type them in the comments and I'll address them here on the feed, or give me a thumbs up or some hearts and just letting me know that you're seeing me okay, and say hi. So just going back to the numbing devices, this is something that I know very, very personally. Before I became a mother, before I moved my life to Europe, I like to call this BC, which is literally for me, before children. In Los Angeles, I had a very successful career, first in entertainment and in real estate. And, I was ticking all the boxes. I was doing, all the things that, you're supposed to be doing, which is supposed to be a definition of happiness. I graduated from the prestigious university. I got the corporate job. I was driving the nice car. Oh, and then I became an entrepreneur. I had my own business. I had the 2 adorable Yorkies. I had all these things that, checked off all the boxes. But at the same time, on the outside it looked like I was very happy. But in the inside it couldn't be further from the truth. I was smoking. Yes, I was smoking. For people that didn't know me back then in university or just after, I was a big smoker. I smoked at least a pack of cigarettes a day. I drank sometimes a whole bottle of wine a day, well, a night, not during the day. I was drinking copious amounts of coffee, and I was taking sleeping pills every night just so I can put myself to bed and wake up and start the whole day all over again. And this is what I was doing. I was stressed. I was basically self-medicating, and I was using these numbing devices, thinking that they were making me better, but really, in the end, they were really detrimental to my entire health and my entire well-being. And for those of you that know my journey, it wasn't until after I had moved to Europe and I became a mother and I started witnessing the illness that beset some of my loved ones that I started to question and really reflect on my lifestyle and the life that I was living, the life that I was bringing for my children and in my house, my home. And that's kind of how my whole journey began, which brings me here with you today and sharing some of these practices with you on how to stay calm and to carry on. So again, for those of you that are tuning in, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments box, and I'll make sure to address them during the feed. But again, this, hi Brooke, great message, just talking about this with someone yesterday. Oh, wonderful, that's great. Yes, it's so important, you know, that we have support group, that we have people that are like-minded just like us, that we have people that can understand and speak the same language. It's really important in our journey of personal growth that we have that support system, and that we have, you know, that we have people that, oh, hi Joanna, love your honesty, thank you. That we have people that can really nourish our soul. Again, going back to we're constantly doing, we're in this 21st century where we're so more technologically advanced than ever, where we should be more connected than ever, which we are, because I'm connected to you now from Barcelona, from everywhere around the world. But in most cases, we're so much more disconnected from ourselves and to each other. And so really it's, again, just coming back to a state of awareness, a state of being present, as well as really just recognizing and acknowledging and accepting that we cannot control what happens outside of us. And a lot of the stress and anxiety that comes from, you know, is worrying about our past, worrying about the future. You know, what happened to us yesterday or 5-10 years ago, or what's going to happen to us tomorrow. And really all we know and all we have is this present moment. And this is something that I really struck a chord with me, and I really experienced deeply when I was with my father who was dying. And we really don't know how much time we have on this earth. We really don't. And so it's my passion to help you and anyone that you know that may resonate with this message to also live a life of no regrets, to really come from a place of peace and love, and really just to know that that is your birthright. You know, all this stuff and this stress and this fear and this anxiety, it's really about dropping all of that and remembering that your true essence is a state of calm, is a state of bliss. And it's about remembering that, and remembering that that's your birthright, and that you absolutely have every right to be happy. You have every right to live a joyful and prosperous and abundant life. And in anything, any of those fears or anxious beliefs or limiting beliefs, just know that, you know, that's just some old record playing in your head. And really just start to, if you can, I invite you to use that simple acronym of STOP, and just use that for a week and see how you get on. And I'd love to know, you know, how you get on. Again, you can let me know by private messaging me or emailing me. And really that's just my message that I love to share with you today. Again, I'll be doing this for the next 4 weeks, so for the next 3 Fridays, with the last one ending on March 31st. I'm just going to be answering some of the questions that I've received from my own community and concerns, and really, again, just an opportunity for me to pay it forward and to pull back the curtain on some of the tips and lifestyle hacks that have worked for me personally for a decade, and that I've seen work for my students and for my clients. And I wish you, if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I see some hearts and some thumbs up and some hellos. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you think this may resonate for anyone that you know, then I would love if you share this video. I am, like I said, I'm living in Barcelona now. So here in Barcelona, I have classes and workshops. I have a retreat coming up in Ibiza. And for those of you that are worldwide, I do coaching worldwide as well. So I would love to connect with you, and if there's anything that a particular topic that you would like for me to address during my next 3 Facebook Lives, feel free to send me a private message or an email, and I look forward to, hi Chantal, I look forward to connecting with you soon. So I wish you all a beautiful weekend, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Okay, namaste. Bye.